All right, guys, my gate just swung open. Good. It's windy. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Behind me, 1964 Beetle. Pretty sure it's 64. I can't remember. It's been on the channel before. Had to fix a bunch of issues that this thing came in for, and it was originally, you know, just a general look over. It wasn't that. If you don't know what I'm going on about, check the link. I'm probably going to put it in the description. Maybe. Anywho's, in those videos, the last video I had on this car, I said it felt like it was down on power because it has a cam and it's a little bit of a, you know, beefier motor, but it's breathing through a 34 pick, you know, Solex, knockoff Solex, a cheap carburetor, if you will. Made a recommendation, this was a couple months ago, made the recommendation about going dual carbs. You know, let this engine breathe a little bit. I mean, it has a nice exhaust on it, might as well utilize it. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. Think we're going to do, because if you've been watching this channel, videos go off the rails. We're going to do a two-parter. One, you know, the uninstallation, you know, get ready for the new, you know, air intakey lungs, whatever you want to have it, you know, carbs. I don't know why I'm thinking body parts. I mean, what have you. But we'll get it so that, you know, ready to accept the new carburetors in the, for part two. This way I'm not having, you know, a 7-hour, you know, feature film. And also, even if I get it done today, I can't take it for a test drive. So I'm going to procrastinate a bit because it's windy and rainy and, you know, terrible and cold here, and this car doesn't have heat, I don't think. I'm rambling. But, you know, jack this thing up, or, you know, this thing up in the air and bring it in there and let's start taking some stuff apart. Stay tuned. This hopefully should be an easy part of this video. Yeah, I'll just jinx myself now. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Under the cars in the air, elevated if you will. First thing do is, you know, start stripping this thing down for, you know, doing, let me move you back a little bit. So I'm not leaning, the old bones. But start stripping this thing down to get the dual carbs on. First thing is grab the correct screwdriver because that is a flathead and not a Phillips. All right, we're starting off well. I'll be back. Let me get the correct tool. Should have looked first. Prepping. I don't do it. Back with correct implement. Gonna loosen these crossover boots so that when loosen the intake manifold, you know, they'll pop off. So loosen them to get them out of the way. There's the other ones. Well, just come out. If you're gonna brake correctly and just brake out of there. Why? Cooperate? Yep. Oh, I'm going to pull the plug wires, get them out of the way. Maybe. Oh. Boop, boop. Beep. On. And unclick. All right. Intake boots, or the intake manifolds, the crossovers, the horns, whatever you want to call them. 13 millimeter. Will my high-tech wrench fit in here? It sort of does. There we go. Should have used the, hey, look at me a little bit. Should have used the corrector drive to begin with. Thought my other wrench would work, but, well, it would have. I just didn't feel like, arguing or, what have you, fighting with it more than I should have. Magnet. Let me go around, get off all these 13s, and get the manifold loose. It's pretty straightforward, in, loosen, out. There's 2 bolts or nuts per cylinder. The funky ones that people tend to have a problem with, either loosening or tightening, are the ones I'll show you when I get it out, are the kind of hidden ones that are under the horn. The back 2 you can just get with a standard ratchet. So let me get these things out and I'll be right back with, I gotta remove one other bolt. I'll be right back when I get the nuts off. All right, well, I just realized something. Nothing major, but you have 2 styles of these heater riser crossover tubes. You have, well, this style, which is permanently affixed to the intake manifold, and you have like the MP style where they're individual. Unfortunately, this being a one piece, can't sneak it around the generator stand. It's down here, guys. So a lot more of this engine's gonna have to, top end's gonna have to come apart to, get this thing out. So, man, I think I said in the intro that should be easy. I mean, it's still easy. It's nothing major. So, I mean, okay. But carb has to come off, access, generator is going to have to come, bolts, so on and so forth, pull that. Basically, stripping the entire top of the engine. So, let's, I guess, start by taking the carburetor off. I need wrenches. I need an 8 mil. Let's start with doing that. And we'll get this out of the way. Tightened it. Good, still tight. Let's take the easy things off I have parts for. That's a 12. Okay, good news. For some reason on the other side of my high-tech wrench, yeah, I have a 12. So let's get this loose. Oh yeah, this is the one that had the 12 nuts instead of the 13 flanged. I remember now. It's vaguely coming back to me. All right, not sure what I left off before this, because I'm going to be an amazing, continuity expert, but it's actually the next day. I got distracted. I took some things apart, had a phone call. Well, it doesn't matter. But anywho, we are going to continue stripping the top of this side of the engine to get, dual carbs put on. So, let's see. What progress have I even made? Gotcha. Carburetor's ready to come off, took the bolts off. Might have said that, might have not. So, carb off, disconnect all the linkages. Throttle cable, make sure when you take that off, because you're going to reuse the little screw thing. I just attach it back to the cable so it doesn't go anywhere. What else do I have to do? A whole bunch of stuff. Where's tape? So I do have to take the generator off. Here, tape. Need tape for the, obviously, generator. Found it, by the way. Now, some of you might be asking yourselves, why don't you just unplug the battery? And while that is a very valid question, I have an even simpler answer. I'm lazy and I don't want to. So, if you didn't know, these guys, the 2 big wires on whatever, DF terminal or the D plus terminal, they're powered, they're hot, they're alive. So you don't want them, you know, just like flippity flopping all over the place, because they will go zap. So we'll just protect on them with a little bit of tape, so that hopefully I don't burn this car down. Because although that might make good footage, it'd be a very expensive F-up on my end. So there. A little bit of tape. Those are good. Unplug generator or the alternator on this one. And this will be good to pull. This wire is not going to be needed anymore. Get rid of that one completely. I'm getting rid of the idle air cutoff and electric choke line. Not needed because, well, new carbs don't have either. Where else are we? Where are we on now? Let's bust that alternator nut loose. Yeah, let's take this off, get that off, get this alternator ready to go. Boop. What's that, 19? It looks like one. It is not. I lied. It's probably a 22. 21. Key to being a good mechanic is always second guessing yourself. Ugh. Can't quite say I've ever ran across a magnetic generator, alternator, what have you. Huh. Oh, it works. Oh, weird. It's like a permanent magnet field in here now. But anywho's, let's continue just popping this stuff apart. Belt. Where can I lose this? And just put everything back. And just put everything back. Thank you. Only had to tell you twice on that one. All right, 13 on a thingy. What the hell did I use this for? Anywho's. Loosen up the alternator strap. Will you slide? Yes, you will. Get that out of the way. That alternator will lift. All right, what do I got? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Come out of there. We don't need that gasket there. See, plug wires. You guys can just get out of my way a little bit. All right. Let's see. Generator stand. We'll pull that next. Yeah, let's get the generator stand out of the way. Those back ones are going to suck. Yeah. Continuity. Let me get another wrench. These nice, shiny, clean, well-maintained engines is what I can only feel a new technician feels like working on cars. Where, I'm not gonna say all, but most of the bolts cooperate. You can kind of take things apart once you break them loose with your fingers. Or phalanges, if you speak a different language. I think that's still English. That's medical English. Yeah, it is. It's an early start for me today, guys. Anywho's, once, where'd that go? Oh, it can't go anywhere, so that's a good thing. Where did this go? Oh, that went up here. Let's not lose that. Can I? You're gonna be in a terrible location. And I don't think I'll be able to sneak you down. Oh, yes I am. I didn't think I'd be able to get this back corner bolt. The intake looked like it was in the way a little bit too much. But it was not. Where's my magnet? Let's go fishing. Washers. All right, so that's all loose. Now what? Now what is the plan? I got that one down there. One stud. See if I can get that. Shush, please. Come on. There we go. All right, slide these clamps. Slide the boots. Boots slide. Good. There we go. Now come off. Oh, you gotta want it. Everything work with me. Go shift this way. Shift that way more. Now, come off. Come off the studs. Ooh, you're gonna be stubborn. Come on. What are you doing? Oh no. Well, this is not going perfectly. Usually you can slip those things off of there. Well, not in this case. Losing a fan shroud. When in doubt, just keep taking things apart. Seems like it needs a little more uppage, which is fine. That's why everything's removable. Do I really have to take this deck lid off? I don't want to do that. Right. There. Thank you. Thank you. Was that so hard? Whew. Broke gasket. Wonder if it had a, wonder if it was like that if it had a leak. Still ran fine. I probably broke it pulling it out. There's the other trunk. Weird. All right, this side. You want to cooperate now? Because that'd be nice. Just come on. You have way too many wires all over the place. Just you come up so you can come out. There we go. There's that. Now there, perfect. That's gas tank. This one's goofy as well. Huh. Curious. How stuck is it? And this other one, hopefully angles and dangles will work with me. Oh. Come on, you're like right there. Quit fighting me. You slide all the way over. You go all the way up. Man, can I get between you two? Just need a better angle. More dangles of angles. There it is. There it is. Putting the shroud on is going to be so much easier to get these screws back in because obviously there's not going to be a intake manifold in the way. Magnet. Boop. Grab these other two. Sorry about that cut, but my camera was yelling at me, telling me that it was, out of memory. So, with further ado, I am going to take this deck lid off. Possibly. Well, I am, not possibly. Because I'm going to need a little more altitude out of this thing. And remove deck lid. Okie doke, so where am I going to put this so it's not going to get damaged? Stay. All right, I think I got it. Got the, doghouse cover plate off, which allowed me to get a little bit more adjustment or flex out of this thing. And just with jiggling and wiggling, I got the edge popped out. So, I mean, should have really had the camera on, but I honestly didn't think it was going to work. But hopefully it comes out now, which it probably won't because now it feels stuck again. So we're doing good. There it is. All right. So, oh yeah. I was even going to escalate to take the fan off. Because, it's getting a little frustrated. But, anywho, get that thing out. Man, what a pain in the butt. All that to get this damn thing out. Generator. No. Just come out. I don't want to take anything else apart. You will come out. There it is. Man, I didn't even have to loosen that stand. Huh. I'm dumb. Yeah, heater crossovers. That was car doesn't have it. If you have an empty unit, they're removable, usually. The OG ones, they're glued in place. So, yeah. That's good now. All right, where are we at? Except this huge mess I just made. I don't know, I took the fan out because I gotta put the fan right back in. Let me get under, what's pinching you? Why are you stuck? Oh, because you're a mess too. Of course you are. Why would you be easy? Anyways, I broke the gen stand or the alternator stand loose, and now have to put a new gasket on. So, hooray for me. See if this thing's going to cooperate. Probably not. It looks stripped. Oh no, it did. Hot damn. that to put a freaking new gasket on. Man, that oil smells rich. Like, rich. Still looks good, but it's a bit rich. All right, let me get this all cleaned up, scrape some gaskets, and yeah, start affixing everything. Let me put that dog doobly-doo back on now. And who has the chainsaw? I mean, it's rude. Don't they know I'm recording? All right, new gaskets, new slinger plate, or ow, slingy plate. Because we're not going to reuse this. Who knows how long it's been on there, and, you know, I have new. I'll file it for the next job. Anyway, let me show you what we got going on, because right now we're at the point where we can start putting things back together, and that will be part 2. All right, I got everything torn apart right now, obviously, if you've been watching this. I'm going to show you the destruction that it takes to get it to this point to get the dual carbs on. And like I said, that'd be in part 2. But, what do we got here? Generator had to come off. We're going to replace the gasket for the oil fill. Just because I didn't have to loosen it on this one, surprisingly enough, but I did. Intakes came off, obviously, got the bolts off, all the wires. Pretty much stripped the whole top of the engine because nothing on here is going to stay here with the exception of the generator. So the reason I had to take the generator off is the original intake manifold. It didn't have a dual pace, so you had to take it. It was a pain in the butt. Oh yeah, and I had to take the back doghouse off, the venti cooler, whatever you want to call it, shroud, if you will. I had to take that off. Gave me a little bit more flex up. So I should put that together right now, but I'm not going to. That'll be in part 2. We'll put all this thing back together. But let me get you on a tripod and do a little recap. Like I said, I want to do this in 2 parts. Maybe you guys will watch it a little longer than my 3-hour marathons. So stay tuned for a recap. Before I do the recap, I'm putting that doghouse shield on while I have all this extra access. Because it's just the right thing to do, and I probably will forget it. And I still need a 10. Why am I using an 8? I used it. I lost it. What did I do with it? You're supposed to help me, guys. Anywho, why did I think that was an 8? I just took it off. But, yeah, I'd probably forget it last minute, see it on the bench, and be like, oh, crap. So we're going to alleviate that problem by putting it on now, because everything I need should be fine to where I don't have to remove this again, ideally. But stay tuned for a recap. That's all I'm doing right now. It's just getting this secured. All right, guys, I might have said this in the video once, twice, maybe 60 times. I don't know. Doing 2 parts on this one. Strip down, part A. Well, it's stripped down. Trying to keep the video a little shorter. So part 1, stripped down. Part 2, obviously, is going to be reassembly and hopefully, test driving. So I guess with that said, if you like part 1, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If you do, promise you, we will chit chat. As always, have a good one, and hopefully see you for part 2. Thanks, guys.